Alrighty. We are joined now by Auston Kim here at the LPGA Drive-On Championship. Auston, welcome. Obviously not your first start on the LPGA Tour, but first start as a rookie official member. Just what are some of the thoughts and feelings and emotions you got going on this week?
I'm very excited. I know that the competition is pretty elevated here and the courses will be tougher, but I'm really excited to push for my best and try my best and play my best golf every single week.
What have you been kind of working on since, the Epson season ended? I know you were in the Annika field, and just what are some of the things you've been working on since last season to prepare you for this week?
I wanted to play in the Monday queue for the Annika just to get my feet wet and play and have some playing experience, and I had a lot of fun there, but it left a little to be desired personally, and during the off season, I really wanted to focus on my weaker spots and keep strengthening my game, especially with points that felt a little bit weaker during my year on the Epson Tour. And I just didn't want to feel like I had to reinvent the wheel. I focused on my strengths, but also practiced on my weak points a lot.
Was there anything specific during your rounds at the Annika that you really took away and stuck with you, and you really tried to hone in over the off season?
Yeah, it was a lot of eye-opening moments about my mental game. It felt pretty strong already, but I knew that there were a lot of things that I could improve on. My ball striking, accuracy, really foreseeing shots that are going to come up and just thinking one step ahead every single time. And I really wanted to hone that part of my game in.
Bethan?
Hi. You had an incredible season-ending flourish to get your card. Can you talk about your mentality going into that tour championship and how you were able to get it done when everything was on the line?
Right. I knew I had to get a good finish, and of course we're always told not to focus on what we have to do, and I knew I wanted to make some noise at the end of the year. I knew what was on the line, and I did my best to prepare, and I didn't have that great of a first round in Daytona, but after I walked off, I spent some time putting because that was definitely the weak point in my first round, and after I walked off the putting green, I didn't feel worried at all. I knew that whatever was going to happen would happen. And the only thing that I could do was just try my best. And I just really got into a groove that week, and it worked out.
If I could, real quick, sorry, if I could jump in. I know, after you won, I heard you got to share that special moment with your sister, who you're very close with, your family. Can you just kind of talk about the emotions of that and all that?
Yeah, after the final round, after I made the last putt, she was on FaceTime with my mom, and I got to FaceTime her. We were both crying. It was very emotional. It was very emotional because I finally felt like what I'd worked on basically my entire life, I was able to achieve a really major goal of mine and something that I'd really worked hard to strive for the entire year, and it just felt like all the effort that I put into finally paid off.
Yeah, sorry about that.
You're fine. Two questions. The first one, where do you think that peace came from that you felt after you left the putting green?
That peace?
Yeah.
All the effort that I put in throughout the year, I know that I was grinding really hard, and all the hours that I put in, and I didn't want to put any extra pressure on myself. I didn't want to have to worry about the cut, because if you worry about the cut, it rarely ever works out. So I looked back at all the hard work that I put in throughout the year, and I felt really, for the first time in my life, I felt complete trust in myself and my ability to execute. And I really wanted to focus on one shot at a time. And I just knew if I took it one shot at a time and I wasn't worried about being in another place throughout the round, I knew I was going to be 100% fine.
And your sister, who's, of course, now in med school, I know she's played a huge role in your life. Can you talk about how she continues to inspire you as you continue doing what she set out to do?
Right. Growing up, I always wanted to beat her. She was always the better putter. So that really motivated me to get better at putting throughout my entire life. And now she's off, in her next chapter. And I'm so, so proud of her because her head's in a book every single day and she's very busy. But just knowing that I have someone that I can count on, even though she's not with me, it's very special, and we're very, very close, and I can always talk to her. She'll always have advice for me, and I love her so much, and she'll always listen to me, and I'm very fortunate to have her.
Just a couple more from me. Is there anyone, either in the off season or earlier, or today, yesterday, that's kind of taking you under their wing, a member of the tour already, just kind of giving you some advice? And if they have, what is some of that advice that they've given you?
Yeah, I got to play a couple of practice rounds with some members out here, and I've spoken with Se-Young Kim a lot throughout the years. I met her at the Open a couple years back, and she's given me some very valuable advice throughout the years. I've gotten to meet a couple of LPGA members on the practice green and whatnot, so they've been very, very helpful.
Awesome. And then last one, just what's going to be the game plan this week?
Doing my best. I know that the greens here are very demanding, but just having reasonable expectations facing those demands. And if I take it one shot at a time and understand that the conditions will be pretty tough because of how windy it is here, but if I just hit the best shots that I can and do my best to execute, then I'll get the job done.
Absolutely.
What was Se-Young's advice? The best of Se-Young's advice?
She told me this a few years back. She just told me to relax. And that's been very, very helpful, whether it's mentally or physically on the course, especially when you want to execute and you want to hit the best shots that you possibly can. It's always best to not feel like you have to do anything, but just feel like you can trust yourself. And with that relaxed mentality and that relaxed physical state, you can definitely do it.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.